Thank you. Well, I wanted to ask the panel to do short closing remarks. Short, I mean 1 to 2 minutes. I'd appreciate if we could stick to that. So let's start with Ken Welch here, and then we'll go to his left from there.
Okay, and I won't take the whole time. I want to thank everyone for coming out tonight. It's not always in the number of folks that's coming out, but it's, folks that come out if they're committed to what we're working on. And I think the last gentleman really hit on the point. We do need to work together, not divide ourselves along which organization you're with or which frat or sorority or whatever, but focus on the goal at hand and the mission at hand. I think Bridget mentioned we ought to be on social media. I'm on Facebook and Twitter. Look me up, send me a friend message. It's Ken Welch. And I'm looking forward to the next one of these. I hope we keep this going. I hope next time we have fuller participation, more folks from Hillsborough and Pinellas County. And again, y'all need to give us your input on issues that are upcoming. And when we make a call, and I know Ms. Burton and I are going to disagree on this, when we make a call on an issue, y'all need to show up, because elected officials have a responsibility, but we also need some backup. Folks need to know when you're speaking for a constituency, that constituency will show up when it's time to debate an issue. That makes a huge difference. You've got good elected officials and some bad elected officials, to tell you the truth, but you need to back up those good elected officials who are out there fighting the fight. And I appreciate all the support. So thank you all again for having me from Pinellas County.
Thank you, Mr. Welch. Ms. Gulley?
Yes. First of all, I just want to commend all of you for giving up your dinner time. We did, and you did also. And one thing that I'm very proud of, I have learned in life, in order to grow, you have to accept constructive criticism. And tonight, we all may not have agreed on some of the comments. So what? This is a discussion. It's an opportunity for us to exchange information. I just want to, I'm very grateful that I was invited. Couldn't say no to the ones that asked me, the Morris and your group. But again, the work is there for us. We all can play a part in where we get as a people. We can affect change by doing what we can do ourselves. And if we disagree with how something is ran, I don't care what it is. I'm president and CEO of a corporation, but I'm only as good as my team. And they can tell you that. I think that we need to recognize the fact that there is a lot of work to be done. We're not where we want to be as a people. Sure, we have Obama in the White House, but there's a lot of more positions that need to be filled throughout the country. And let us continue to motivate, to encourage, and communicate. And that's when we can disagree and go on and be agreeable at some term.
Thank you. Darmian?
Yeah, I got to say I enjoyed this conversation, but one of the things I think we should leave with this conversation is that we have to ask ourselves, what are we doing to reach the other person? Most of us it was mentioned reactive. Most people are and have been for thousands and millions of years, or however long we've been on this planet, reactive. The question is, at what point do we react, and how do we react to a situation? When companies advertise, they want you to react to something. They want you to purchase. In order for people to react, we have to get innovative. Ask yourself the question, why they're not here? That's a powerful question. And then how can we reach them? That's one thing Mr. Joyner there mentioned, is that we aren't where they are. We don't think about how to reach them. We're stuck on ourselves. How can we reach them? I'm reading a book called Reimagine by Tom Peters. It's a business book. And a lot of organizations have been around for hundreds of years. But the most successful ones are not the same as they were originally. They're totally different. You get me? So the ones that do not change, that do not innovate, won't be here. They will not, including the NAACP and whoever who has been here long. If you do not innovate and make that a strategy, I keep emphasizing that. I'm not pointing fingers. It has to be a passion, a strategy for your business, for your organization, That has to be a passion. How to innovate. If you don't have that, you can forget it. And that's not an age thing. That's just you. This man is 50. That's the most innovative person I know since I met him. In his age group and in mine too. So as a result, there's a lot of things he thinks of that I don't as a young person. But that's because he made it. That's his personal culture. And you have to make that a part of your strategy. Not just say, well, come to us. Make that a part of your strategy. There's a company called IDEO. It's a company that designs stuff. Other companies go to this particular company to design stuff, bottles, whatever. But if you go on YouTube and look at their structure, they have a method of bringing ideas out of their people. It's a method. It's not just, well, come here and tell us something. It's a method that they have that works. They're the best design company in the world for what they do. Companies all over the place come to them first because they seem to have a way to generate the best ideas. And that's a strategy they have. You get me? So if you have that strategy, you all of a sudden realize that people start to want to be a part of that. People the person who's out of the box wants to go to ideology because there's something about that company that I want to be a part of. Energy begets energy. If you don't have the energy that's going to attract people, you will not get them. So that's something you have to take personally. It has to be a part of you. You know? So that's it.
Thank you. Curtis?
Well, excuse me. Thank you, Camille, you and Eric, and the Tampa Bay Association of Black Journalists for the opportunity to be here tonight. Ken, Ms. Gulley, Darmian, thank you all for your comments. As a former president of NAACP, I do accept the challenge. I do realize that there are issues that we have as an organization that we need to get better. I don't have my blinders on. I do know that we need to get younger. We need to get into the new age of tweeting and Facebook. So I do accept those challenges. But I don't accept the premise that we're not doing anything as an organization. And this isn't all about NAACP. This is about we as black leadership. I challenge us to challenge the process when it comes to education, politics, education, religion. We have to stop letting ourselves off the hook when it comes to the black community. And it's, the young lady brought up civil citation, the clemency board. If I decide to go out here today and rob a white girl on the way to my truck, no one made me do that but myself. I can't blame the white guy tomorrow and say, well, he didn't set up a mechanism for me not to rob her. So we have to stop thinking that mentality. And I try and teach my 11-year-old son, we can't become prisoners of the past, thinking about what happened 30 or 40 years ago. We have to set a 25-year plan and think about how we can affect the future, 25, 30 years out in front of us. That's the mentality that I challenge us to have. Yes, the NAACP is 101 years old. The policies that we had before are outdated. We've outlived them. And we do need to innovate and change, like Darmian said. But we need young, innovative minds inside the organization to help us do that. You realize when I got 7 years ago when I became the chairperson of NAACP, the membership forms weren't online. There was misspellings on the membership application. But we had to change. It took 3 years to get the organization to change. We want to change the website, a website where you could pay your membership dues online, where you could download a complaint form. You could do the complaint form online. That took 3 years. And at that time, I was 36 years old, and I had rose to the position of first vice president. But we have to change. We need young, innovative minds to become a part of. And this year, we just got PayPal in 2009. So, which shows you the progress of how slow it goes. But we need young, innovative minds inside those organizations to help us move forward. I work with the United Negro College Fund. We raise money every year to help send black boys and girls to historically black colleges and universities. I challenge us to get involved with that, and I always make this statement that if we don't get involved in these historically black organizations, the Urban League is non-existent here in Hillsborough County. We need to try and reach out to the Panelists County Urban League to try and bridge that gap across the Bay. But we're going to get to that point where we become extinct organizations, say great organizations, and that's not the point where we want to be as organizations. So, and those organizations are notorious for creating and cultivating young leadership, like Darmian, Life, and the young man in the back who's community Tampa Bay. I urge you to get involved. The young lady over here, I urge you to get involved. We need that thinking. We need you to come inside and challenge the process. because we're not going to get better as organizations and as leaders until we have young people like yourself challenging the process, challenging us to get better as organizations and as people. And I close with this, and I see Ms. Goddard, who's running for county commission here. She's here with us tonight. You had Jim Norman ask for $40 million from a county commission's perspective to create a Disney sports park in the eastern part of the county to compete with Disney. When is the last time we had a county commissioner or a city councilman ask for $40 million to do anything with black people? We have to challenge that process, not just elect someone who looks good in a suit or who's been in this community for a long time. We have to challenge that process and get people in office who have creative ideas, who know how to bridge the gap between, because at the end of the day we still have to work with white people, who know how to bridge that gap between white and black, put creative ideas on the table, and ask for what we want as a community. Because the old adage is, well, how come you didn't do it? Give us the money. Well, you didn't ask. They say, well, you didn't ask for anything. Well, now's the time for us to start asking. Just like Jim Norman can ask for $40 million to create a sports park in Plant City, we want $40 million to redo some neighborhoods in East Tampa. But we have to start demanding that, put that demand on our elected officials.
Just one more comment. I think early on it was most people in here are part of organizations. Mm-hmm. A good topic for future reference would be how can we bridge those gaps between organizations? Because there's a gap.
And that was something I was going to bring up in my closing remarks as well, is that, it seems to be a common thread here with social networking. Everybody's talking about Facebook and Twitter and email. I don't want this conversation with our panel here to end, tonight. So if there's more that you want to suggest, like what Darmian just said, or if there's more that you want to talk about, we've got a Facebook fan page, so TBABJ has one. We have a website, tbabj.com. And we want you to reach out and talk to us, email us, and let us know if you have story ideas or want to join our organization, which you can do by filling out an application in the lobby there. Feel free to talk to these people afterward, in addition to exchanging with, business cards, email addresses. If you want to create this dialogue that we keep talking about, this is where it begins. So I wanted to thank everyone for coming out. I wanted to thank our panel tonight, and I want to thank you guys for spending some time with us. I want to thank Donovan and University of Tampa for donating this beautiful room to us. And so if there's anything that you want to know about TBABJ, feel free to contact me afterward. I'll be floating around. And thank you guys for coming, and have a safe trip home.